motherfucker.
Subsidiary that would house some of their most famous IPs, basically like a shell corporation or something like that, just a sub-organization for their top IPs. And then on March 27th, 2025, they made it official. They said right here that Ubisoft accelerates its transformation by laying foundation for new operating model and the creation of a subsidiary and injection of 1.16 billion euros of cash from selected investor Tencent. And through that, what we learned was that they're going to come down that would be all about Assassin's Creed Far 5 and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. Except I don't know how just shifting some things around will ultimately help what the core issue is, which is leadership and the kind of lack.
Blah, 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 blah.
At Ubisoft's stock price is at less than $1 per share, 95 cents per share. I don't know that we've ever seen Ubisoft stock dip this low. The lowest I see in this Google chart right here is back in like 2012 when it approached, $1. But yeah, suffice to say that Ubisoft stock price is some of the lowest, if not the lowest we've ever seen in company's history. And it all has to do with Ubisoft's recent announcement detailing how they plan to transform the company, and all of this is detailed right here by Video Games Chronicle. And as part of this transformation, one of the things that Ubisoft felt obligated to do was cancel a bunch of projects, delay a bunch of others, and close down some studios, or as Video Game Chronicles puts it right here, 6 games canned, 7 delayed, and 2 studios closed. This was confirmed directly by Ubisoft. And for years now, this has just been such a common trend for Ubisoft. So even back in 2023, we saw Ubisoft cancel 3 unannounced games, delay Skull and Bones. We saw games like Frontiers of Pandora, the Avatar game, get delayed.
Share screen.
Marketing campaign.
What the
We saw
fuck?
Ubisoft delay Assassin's Creed Shadows at one point as the stakes surrounding this game grew higher, with Ubisoft becoming so dependent on this game's financial performance to define its future. Like, it's ridiculous how commonplace this kind of thing is becoming for Ubisoft. And that brings us to today. 6 canceled games, it reads right here, did not meet Ubisoft's new enhanced quality expectations, whatever the hell that means. It said, including the much delayed Prince of
Wow, that's pretty cool.
remake and 4 other unannounced games, including 3 original IPs. That's why
Interesting. I'll try that.
is officially canceled. In fact,
I'll have to try
Twitter,
that.
you'll find that the Prince of Persia Twitter page posted the following statement to the Prince of
I'll have to try that. Wait. That means... Hello. I was about to get my energy bar and maybe change my clothes. What? It was dismissive. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh my god.
Indian studios before they have to change plans on that front, with concerns surrounding its quality looming eventually. And
Why are you messing with me?
Ubisoft Montreal, the original developers of 2003's Xanthan.
What do I need to do to clear my energy? Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you want to know what you need to do to clear your energy. Going by your cards, 5 of Wands in the primary position already stands out as a main thing you need to do. which is to not get mixed up with other people, particularly people who tend to really just thrive around drama and talking about other people. I just think that this is an immediate way to clear up things in your life. Knight of Wands in the secondary position is also suggesting that you do try to cultivate a bit more confidence in your life and not worry so much about how you look or what people think about you. Three of Swords in the final position is mostly saying that you shouldn't try to mask your emotions. So, particularly when things bother you or something concerns you, you should go ahead and speak up about it and not try to be stoic and save face. Overall, it seems like mainly all you really need to do to clear up your energy is to stay away from negative people and to just keep yourself authentic. Now, if you want further information about other ways you can clear up your energy, or if you want to know about any issues or tribulations that may come up in your near future, you can give me a call or send me a message. I came in all excited too. My card also said Gregory coming back extremely assertive too. Turn card spread. Ugh. Oh, God. Okay, let me get my energy bar and change my clothes and get the show on the road. March destroyed the momentum. Yes. And get destroyed my momentum right here at the end.
Including the Division, Ghost Recon, and Splinter Cell. Creative House 3 will operate a roster of select sharp live experiences such as For Honor, The Crew, Riders Republic, Valhalla, and Skull and Bones. Then we have Creative House 4, which will focus on fantasy worlds and narrative-driven universes like Anno, Might and Magic, Rayman, Prince of Persia, and Beyond Good and Evil. And yes, apparently Beyond Good and Evil 2 is still in development. Somehow, I don't know how, like Prince of Persia remake gets canceled before Beyond Good and Evil 2, given that that's a game that's been in development for 17 years.
Oh my God, and I'm kind of okay. Well, not even arguing. One of my clients is just she's being very needy and very pushy. So I'm having to deal with that. We have a new moon tomorrow, and it's supposed to be pink.
Genre and criteria of certain creative houses will be essentially assigned to that creative house, while some
oh my God.
Team and work with multiple houses. So the idea is to create these layers of hierarchy that will allow all studios to kind of, I guess, try to coordinate better with things like the creative network, allowing all of these creative houses to consult a select team that will aid them in their endeavors, so on and so forth. As highlighted right here by Video Games Chronicle, each of the creative houses will have its own leadership and end-to-end responsibility for its portfolio, from development to publishing and financial accountability, which Ubisoft hopes will help it make better, faster, more.
Okay.
The creative houses will be supported by a creative network team, which will share studio expertise and provide co-development support, as well as resources, which will focus on technology.
Lock in a fiber-fueled internet deal from Sparklight and leap into hyperspeed. Get 300 meg internet for just $24.95 a month. A low price promise. Switch and save big while you stream, work, and play. Ask about free unlimited phone for 1 year. Call and switch today.
Spring season is my favorite reason. For tough mucousy symptoms like chest congestion, phlegmy cough, and headaches, Mucinex gives you powerful relief. So long, mucousy symptoms.
Investment taxes, including crypto, can be complex, and they're always evolving. No matter what your portfolio looks like, H&R Block knows about all the regulations and nuances, so you can make the most of your taxes and maximize your gains.
Now, whether this restructure will have any tangible impact on Ubisoft's ability to create games more efficiently and to make them better remains to be seen. But what does not inspire confidence is this statement from Yves Guillemot himself, the CEO of Ubisoft, when he talked about this restructuring and this revitalization of Ubisoft. And along the way said this: we are transforming Ubisoft's operating model to produce exceptional quality games on the two core pillars of our strategy, which are open world adventures and games as a service native experiences. To me, that doesn't sound like Ubisoft is bolstering the developer's creative environment, but rather that they're doubling down on the things that are killing them, which is just a lack of innovation in the open world format that Ubisoft just seems so enamored with that they kind of recycle that formula without making significant steps forward on that front or significant refreshing like evolutions that allow the genre to feel fresh, and the games as a service stuff that has tanked them. Like, yes, Rainbow Six Siege was a big success for them, but that's the exception, not the norm. The other live services that Ubisoft has tried to output have all but failed. Whether we're talking about that cyberpunky battle royale game Hyperspace, whether we're talking about Skull and Bones, or whether we're talking about their attempt at a Call of Duty-like in the form of X-Defiant, which also flopped, and they had to shut it down. In my opinion, Ubisoft's core issues have nothing to do with the corporate structure, though I'm sure there are aspects of that that do impede aspects of development, and maybe some restructuring will help with efficiency and whatnot. But when it comes to like their game's ability to sell and to be mega hits, like aside from established franchises like Assassin's Creed, the reason why all of them fail is because it just feels like Ubisoft is so far behind when compared to the competition in the genres that Ubisoft tackles. The other development studios are just pushing more boundaries, are essentially just like setting new bars that Ubisoft just isn't, because they've gotten so like stagnant in the way they develop games, because the creative aspect of Ubisoft feels so much more stifled. So at the end of the day, what helps a game company is when people buy their games. And if you can't like earn their interest by showing something genuinely compelling, instead of playing it safe and using either the same trend chasing formulas or using the formulas that have worked for you in the past, but you somehow can't evolve past them and keep trying to like factory churn out similar type games instead of pushing the boundaries of the genres that you help popularize, then yeah, you're going to fall behind and you're going to be supplanted by companies that do try to push for developers having creative autonomy that allows them to take a genre and make it fresh again. And yeah, there's plenty of commentary out there about Ubisoft's recent like transformation, as well as their commitment to things that have ultimately been the things that have made them fail. So for example, like Legendary Drops right here, highlighted how Ubisoft's plan to fix everything is literally just doubling down on the same thing that made them fail. Brilliant, simply brilliant. That is kind of what it feels like. Others are highlighting just some of the baffling decisions that we've seen Ubisoft make in recent months and years. So Nick Tech, for example, says, so far Ubisoft has canceled Prince of Persia Remake, canceled Assassin's Creed post-Civil War game, which sounded kind of cool, delayed most likely Assassin's Creed 4, Resynced, and 6 other games, effectively put Watch Dogs franchise on hold or dead and buried. With the last Watch Dogs game, while there was some cool mechanical aspects, once again, that tried and tired Ubisoft formula that they haven't been able to evolve enough to make that genre feel fresh from Ubisoft, I think also killed the Watch Dogs series, canceled the Splinter Cell game that was in development, canceled Star Wars Outlaws 2 before it entered full production. What's going on at Ubisoft? Well, I mean, cancellations happen when a company deems that a project, like continuing its development and spending more money on it, is just not worth the risk of its failure, when they feel like the project will end up ultimately costing them more than it will make them money. But all of this just feels so self-inflicted by Ubisoft because they're so like risk adverse, or because they're just not pushing boundaries enough with their creative output. And instead of blaming it on just the lack of pushing boundaries, what they blame it on is that, oh, people are not interested in these kinds of games anymore, when that is plain and simply false. When other developers do it, and they do formulas that Ubisoft has helped popularize, but they do it better and they find ways to evolve that formula and advance the genre, that's when people are like, ooh, this feels like a game that I would spend dozens of hours on and not get bored. There's plenty of interest surrounding types of games that Ubisoft is canceling within their own studio. If you look at the sales out there of games that have tackled similar genres, it's just, again, a situation of like Ubisoft being a snake that's eating its own tail. Like, people will show up if your game is boundary pushing, and Ubisoft just hasn't been able to do that for far too many years. And the Ubisoft logo, in turn, has become not that interesting to look at, and it's not a logo that inspires hype anymore. And that's what Ubisoft needs to get back. All this restructuring won't matter if they don't get that back, the hype that people experience when they see a certain company's name show up in a trailer, you know what I mean? And that starts with letting developers cook and expanding the level of creativity that you allow, and taking some risks. But with Ubisoft being in the position that they're in right now, they feel the need to play it safer, because risk right now could sink this company due to how financially precarious things are, due to the constant failures that resulted from leadership's management of their studios and the creative output. Again, snake eating its own tail. A vicious cycle that will continue a downward spiral if something doesn't change about the creative output more than like the way the organizations are organized. Or at the very least, that's one man's take, and this is kind of what you need to know about the recent developments surrounding Ubisoft and the way they're restructuring as a last-ditch attempt to save a single company. We'll see if all this ultimately does yield better creative output, more control than anything, and it ultimately doesn't change leadership and the way they handle projects, the way they handle studios and IPs. Share your thoughts on all this in the comments below, and to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young Yeah.
Where do you find the soul of BMW? In those who drive it.
You got weed?
Oh, I got weed.
You get the stuff that lasts over 5 months?
Yeah, no,
What up, weed? Pesticide one-shot weed and drug store. That's just that. You hold the power. When a storm's on the way, care shouldn't wait until something goes wrong. Kin Home Insurance checks in, follows through, and helps when it matters most. So you're not just covered, you're cared for.
There we go.
Kin Insurance.
When the Stop Killing Games movement started a year ago, it really could have been for publishers and developers. It was something that they the movement of ultimately gonna die out.
Fuck.
But it has grown at a pace that nobody was expecting, with Pirate Bay in particular.
I accidentally opened up a question.
This movement and the way that The way that has all culminated in Stock Killing Games garnering a lot of support and it achieving its goal to the point where government intervention is now highly likely. And now where game publishers are making public statements.
How are you and how was your day? Okay. It actually hasn't been that good so far. Just issues with my one not girlfriend, you know, the New York one. Just she's really flaky. She's talking about how she has a place, and that she's getting a place, but she says it's complicated, and basically she's saying that I have to like talk through to my old ex, who's like the cult leader, to like get permission or something to like live with her. So basically I just ended up like cussing her out, and like blocking her on everything because it's just really stupid. Because it's like, I don't know, I really get annoyed anyway by women who are like about to hit 30 but they act like they're still teenagers. But yeah, and I might have definitely hexed the living bejeebus out of her too, which is why I do still have some lingering dark energy around me. So yeah, other than that, my one client I mentioned is being very unruly. She's definitely shadow leaking on me, which I need to I need to answer her in a minute. But I can't say what I want to say on her because I am on a platform with her and I don't want to get punished. So I think she kind of needs someone. I think she kind of needs someone to smack her around a bit. And I might have pollen in my throat. How come you never asked me for cards? Basically, I'm not allowed. Some undesirable things will happen. Well, you can if you want off live. Oh god. Okay, I can't really explain details, but when I say I'm not allowed, I'm definitely not talking about like a platform or anything. I'm talking about something else that I can't really talk about. Oh, spiritually? Yeah, you're kind of getting in the ballpark. God. What is in my throat? I know I slept with a shiver. Is that a bad thing? Not really, no. It's just a little oddity about my little life. Nothing serious. God, I'm so tired of this stuff clogging my throat. Hello. This is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you're wanting to know if your husband who's asking for divorce, if this is something that's definite or if there's a chance to save the marriage. Going by your cards, Knight of Pentacles in the primary position and reversed does show that right now the marriage is in a pretty bad spot. In particular, it's talking about the level of security both of you have. It does seem that neither of you really have a lot of trust in each other right now. Ace of Wands in the center position does show that in terms of intimacy, it's still okay, but it will start to degrade over time, especially with the talk of divorce. But I feel like this would be an avenue that you could use to try and help things. Queen of Swords in the final position in reversed ultimately speaks about the future of this whole situation, where it shows that most likely you will have a period where you're distanced from him. So a bit of a brief separation, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be permanent. So for what that means for the divorce, I do not think this will be set in stone. I would say just give your husband some space and let him figure out his feelings. Now, if you want to go into the details of how to best fix the marriage, as well as what you can best do in the next few months, you can give me a call or send me a message. Just having to thug it out. I feel like March is holding on for dear life with this last day. Yeah, it is. Okay, let me read her message.
So it is multifaceted, this stop killing games movement. And games often cannot warn players exactly how.
Okay, and she's having a tantrum. Okay, if you're going to keep giving vague responses, even after sending you gifts, then clearly there's no sense in me contacting you anymore on this platform about him. I thought maybe sending you something would give me a bit more detail, but no, it doesn't, so I give up. Thanks for all your help. Okay, keep in mind, this woman messages me literally the first thing in the morning when she wakes up every single day and talks about this man. She, not even her boyfriend, like they've literally been broken up for like 2 months now, and she has spent, I feel like literally even on these streams, you've seen me having to like deal with her. But yeah, she's just entering that phase where she's starting to spiral and lash out. Which I guess that probably is the hardest part of tarot reading, is when you have someone and they're clearly in distress and they start to attack you. It can be damaging. But I guess it's easier with her because I can kind of tell that she definitely is someone who needs more of a corrective hand. So that already gives me a lot to work with. But yeah, typically if you meet these kind of people off the rip, who are immediately confrontational with you and stuff, I don't know. You just have to thread the needle. Depending on how rude they are, you either just don't service them or you find some way to break through their spiral. Which usually, I would just say don't deal with them. Though there will be times, depending on the format that you use, where you have no choice. Because the last one, other than her, I had to deal with on that platform, who was very confrontational, was because they were a caller. And the thing with callers is it's not like they give you a heads up that they're going to call you. They just randomly call in, and who you get is who you get. Um, so it's like, I mean, technically, I could just hang up the call, but I'm not going to do that. I'd rather make them tap BRB.
That's great, but it doesn't change the fact that the original The Crew, which is a different game from The Crew sequel, did not get that feature. It was not only sunset, but it was literally removed from players' libraries. Emo continues here, so this is an issue that we've been dealing with. So this kind of issue is not specific to Ubisoft. All video game publishers are faced with that issue. You provide a service, but nothing is written in stone, and at some point the service may be discontinued. Nothing is eternal. Nobody is arguing against that. Nobody is arguing that you need a support for service or video game for eternity, or just after that still exists on some level, that you allow players to provide servers for online games that get shut down, or for games that are in danger of disappearing forever because they're digital only, or they require day one patches that may not be available decades down the line. That those on some level be made available, and that long guarantee that companies are held accountable in doing that. I mean, they say this is what we want to do, but there's no guarantee that they have to, and so they may decide, it's too much trouble. I don't want to deal with, end-of-life stuff for the game, because implementing end-of-life features that allow customers to retain the product that they bought might just be a bit too much trouble, might be inconvenient, might cost them some money. So without laws in place, companies ultimately don't have to be consumer friendly, don't have to take preservation steps for their games, don't have to adhere to customers' preference of retaining the products and licenses that they buy. And so what Stop Killing Games is doing is make it so that legislation forces companies and it holds them accountable to ensure that they do what they claim they want to do, of what, keeping customers in mind and being conservative, consumer protection, all these things that they've not really been doing a good job of. But yeah, nothing is eternal. We agree on that, and nobody's asking for that. And we're doing our best, he says, to make sure that things go well for all players and buyers, because obviously support for all games cannot last forever. You don't have to keep supporting the game in a functional, playable state. Again, like the arguments that video games, Europe and Ubisoft are making are just irrelevant to what Stop Killing Games is asking for. They keep misinterpreting or ignorant about what its intent actually is. And then DMO concludes with, that's an issue that we're working on. That's something that the industry at large is working on. That's something you need a factor in. Great, if that's something you care about, if that's something that you're working on, then it should be no problem when legislation passes mandating that you do this, that you provide some kind of end-of-life plan for both your single-player games, your live service games, all games across the board, so that they can be preserved on some level in gaming history, and so that customers don't feel like products are literally being robbed from their libraries. Anyway, back to the statement here, the lifespan of a piece of software, whenever there is a service may be discontinued because eventually the software may be available. You're not releasing version 2 or version 3 of the same game. You're not updating the game so that it continues to exist in a more modern form, like a remaster or anything. The example you gave of The Crew 2, that's an entirely different game. The sequel to The Crew is an entirely different game from the first title, The Crew. Same way that God of War Ragnarok is a different game from God of War. Yes, they're related, but they're different products altogether. And saying, well, we have God of War Ragnarok here and we're supporting that doesn't justify the hypothetical scenario of the original God of War getting eliminated because you have a sequel and whatever. In that hypothetical scenario, people still paid for the original God of War. They want to have access to that original God of War. It's not, there's no justification for that original God of War to be taken.
You're back.
Because that's a product that people purchase. So yeah, Ubisoft's argument and their position on this is just incredibly weak.
What was I saying? What was I saying? I don't know. I already told her, yeah, I'll be here whenever you calm down. She's probably going to send me a humongous audio. I hope she doesn't, where she's like crying into the mic. I mean, I kind of, okay. Well, I kind of have had to be a parent for one client who was like 40. So that was different.
For example, we don't care how long companies support a game or not, only that they don't destroy customer purchases forever. It's such a simple concept what Stop Killing Games is requesting. It's such a reasonable thing what Stop Killing Games is requesting. And yet you got companies making statements as if
Oh my God.
be all end all, like this will be destructive to the industry. Ross Scott's statement continues the Stop Killing Games movement.
Am I forgetting something?
From any publisher. We're asking that when publishers shut down their games, they do so in a responsible way, so it is not deliberately disabled for all existing customers. The practice of video games being effectively destroyed is entirely preventable when planned for from the beginning, including ones designed to connect to the publisher while they're being supported. It's only negligent that this happens at all. 1,000% agree. The fact that companies are claiming that this is just too much for them to handle is ridiculous. They just don't care to try, is really what's going on. And finally, the statement here says the CEO also refers to this as a service, but almost every service I can think of communicates how long it lasts when you pay for it. When you buy an insurance policy, it doesn't contain terms like it can be terminated at any time for any reason with no time frame, but that's exactly how these types of video games are sold. Customers have almost no protections at all and have to gamble on how long the purchase will last. As I mentioned before, you don't know when a live service will end because you don't know how well it will perform. Publishers don't know how well a live service will perform, and so even publishers don't really know. They can't give an exact window of like this is how long this product will last. This is how long you're renting this product for. Essentially, it'll last however long publishers feel like it'll be financially viable to last. The statement concludes with I think companies like Ubisoft are trying to find.
I'm glad I don't provide stress.
I do agree with this statement about.
Yes, I'm very fortunate. If I had 2 of her, I'd lose my marbles. I think you can only have about 1 at any time in your contact list. I could have totally just taken it easy today, or to do something else. Well, no, not do something else, but yeah, I could have taken it easy today. For the tarot stuff, anyway.
Which is something that the European Union takes very seriously, and they'll do so even more when they see just how many people signed this petition. At this point, more than 1 million signatures are likely legitimate. Maybe a couple 100,000 or not, but at 1.4 million signatures, this is surely good to go. Like this will pass, and this is a discussion that we'll be having in the future. And I'll be sure to keep you guys updated on developments around this and seeing how this will all impact the games industry's priorities when it comes to
behaviors.
It wasn't much of a priority before, but this may force them to make it more priority and consumer protection when it comes to digital products not being taken away from them. sure companies don't exert political control that they can over people's products because the adaptability, this is just ridiculous. Well, at the very least, that's one man's take. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are on the stock games movement, recent developments, and Ubisoft statements on this matter. And to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.
You guys have to check this out. So you can basically enter a prompt like this and add a few details, and then the AI will essentially create a functional website for you. You can even test out different layouts, different colors, you can even generate new images.
Hey, I was just touching base to see when you think you might be coming back. You know, I'm just worried that you're not going to find your stride here if you keep going off-world all the time, Carl. I'm worried you're not going to find your people.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, Clark. I have no people. Home is wherever you are, buddy. Crypto and I at least had each other. Honestly, I felt really lucky. But look, almost by definition runs out. What can I do?
The Perkins carried the antidote on that person. He has 3 days.
You cannot give up on me.
It's the crime of the Yellow Hills. He murdered my innocent family.
Just do what I say. Yeah, don't worry. It does not look like this is gonna end well for you guys.
Hurting my head.
Revenge. It won't take your pain away. There's no home without you, buddy.
From that dive bar.
Buddy, that's what I've been calling you.
Touche.
The Supergirl movie looks interesting. It's not going to do very well, though. Well, it'll definitely sell, but
It's not a legally protected term. It's not like doctor. It's more like economist. You know, any asshole can start calling themselves one and fart out a vaguely plausible opinion on the current situation.
okay. What am I doing?
Friend of mine who's into
Could you see Gregory energy for me, wanting to know about any delays, or is he coming forward?
Send me an article which
I think
research into the past to see if
we
any
should-
other articles are written in a certain
I
way.
think we should keep
Start with
things
the article that predates the article the guy sent
off the
me,
cuff
assuming the
and let it play out. I think you need to be surprised a little bit.
About this Hassan guy. Sorry I
I know that a lot of you see me as an antagonistic alternative to him, but it's nothing if not newsworthy.
Hey, let me check something.
CNN and all of its Israel worshipping sycophants like Tapper are trying to turn him into a wedge against the rest of the.
Okay, if today is March.
You guys see this bit? I think it's incredible that Democratic moderates are simultaneously.
If today is March.
The, like, popularist stance. Oh, we need to meet the voters where they are. Also critiquing Hassan for being far left. On a lot of social issues, Hassan is objectively closer to the median Democrat than fucking Jake Tapper.
Today is
Like,
March.
If you go out, you ask the average Democrat about their positions on.
I like this side of you. Yeah, I mean, it'll pass. I don't know. I'm just gonna like blame my harem. They're just not doing it right. I'm in my dark triad phase right now. Like, I was actually checking my DMs to even see if the one woman had like gotten back with me, because she always sends amazing stuff to me. But I guess she's busy with her husband.
It will not be successful. It is a desperate effort. This has nothing to do with his positions on.
You keep me in the dark for your own entertainment. I think that's what my client was basically saying. I try to okay, usually when I withhold things, it's for a good cause. What was I looking at? What was I looking at? I was trying to compare something.
Right? Yeah, it's not majority culturally Muslim, secular Muslim, right? Like, I'm a secular Christian, but they're targeting him because they're trying to scare off the anti-Israel elements of the party. But the average Democratic voter is anti-Israel, or at the very least more sympathetic to Palestinians than they are to Israel.
It's among adults, but ask your kids. His new role as a midterm surrogate for some Democrats is proof that his political influence is
I'm trying to see
streaming platform Twitch, where
if my hair is actually even growing.
He is without question an online influencer with nearly 3 million.
I guess I'll use the top of January as a comparison.
Between Democrats, and for good reason.
You are deliberately driving the wedge. He himself is not driving the wedge. You are driving the wedge.
Hassan Piker's past and present is checkered with controversial, if not outrageous, if not bigoted state comments like.
Remember that Jake Tapper is not only a shameless Zionist, but an open Islamophobe. Like, Jake Tapper has consistently covered the post-October 7th. I mean, not to say it starts there, but the post-October 7th relationship between Israel and its Arab neighbors in an extremely biased way.
Just can't get a good shot.
America deserved 9/11, dude. I'm saying it. We totally put it on ourselves, dude. Holy shit. The ultra-Orthodox Jews leaving Israel, hilarious. Okay? If they serve in the military and then they get their untrained, inbred asses shipped into southern Lebanon, again, very funny.
You know, can you explain what's wrong? How would that not be funny? Can you explain? Hello? By the way, I led like oil prices skyrocketing, market crashing, employment and hiring records absolutely through the floor, looking terrible. CNN, let's run this fucking hit piece on a live streamer. Here's some 5-year-old clips on a live streamer.
Tom Piker calling Orthodox Jews inbred. Piker's.
You wanna Google Orthodox Jews inbred? I mean, he said it. True.
I guess my hair is growing. Yeah.
That shit's true. Yeah.
It's growing. I just need it to go faster.
Jake Tap tripping his way around these talking points.
Then I have some predictions with him, like advice. Oh, so you have some predictions about him already?
The leaders of the Democratic think tank Third Way Right quote, Mr. Piker is anti-American.
Not a Democratic think tank, a billionaire corpo Zionist Epstein-backed think tank trying to push the Democratic Party right. Not really representative of the Democratic Party constituency. Seriously, no voters made third way. It was picked, it was chosen, it was constructed by the Epstein class.
Anti-women, anti-Western, and anti-Semitic. No Democrat should engage with him. All should seek to push him to the fringe where he belongs, unquote. Hassan Piker has recently become an issue in Michigan. It's home to a competitive three-way Democratic primary for governor. Dr. Abdul Al-Sayed, one of the three candidates and a former CNN commentator, announced that Piker will join him for 2 rallies in April.
How's he anti-woman? Liberal Zionist Democrats love to disingenuously evoke IDPOL as a way of trying to galvanize people against objectively more progressive candidates.
His opponents quickly seized on that, slamming the decision.
Jake Tapper does not care about women. Jake Tapper loves Israel, which is a rape state. I promise you, they do not give a shit about women.
Is unacceptable, calling Piker not somebody that you should be campaigning with at a moment when there's clearly a lot of pain and trauma across our state.
Did I pass my what exam?
Piker over the weekend at the No Kings rally in New York and asked how he fits into the
What is a CBSE?
Democratic
CBSE.
I don't think I'm necessarily an issue within the Democratic Party as much as I am an issue for a lot of consultants.
Yeah, I mean, the backlash against Hassan Piker is not being directed by an upswell and popular opposition to him. It's not like the Democratic voters are all rising up and going like, we don't like this guy. You know, what happened to Kamala Harris? Instead, it's an elite ball of consultants, lobbyists, and their sycophants who are descending upon him at a moment when they are conveniently using it as a wedge against Abdul Al-Sayed's candidacy in Michigan. It's like the
Central Board of Secondary
Normie, if
Education.
anything, this is just going to boost his profile with Normie Libs more. Normie Libs are going to love this stuff because he is everything the Democratic Party, or I should say,
Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you wanted to know if you passed your critical exam that you took yesterday. Going by your cards, Ace of Cups in the primary position would nominally show a yes. It is particularly strong, so it's already starting off with a very positive indicator. Queen of Cups it's giving detail. Oh my god. Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you wanted to know if you passed your critical exam. Going by your cards, Ace of Cups is going to start the reading with a very positive indicator. So it's already signaling that you did very well. Queen of Cups in the center position is also symbolizing that you did put a lot of energy into preparing for the exam, which is also a pretty good indicator of what kind of results you'll get. King of Wands is both affirming that you passed as well as building upon what's already been established by Queen of Cups by showing that this is a field that you very much want to be part of since it is for education. So overall, from every single card that you ended up getting, they all seem to be very strong yeses. So I don't think you need to worry about if you actually passed or not. Now, if you want information about where the future will go for you upon getting your result from this exam, as well as any opportunities that are coming your way later in the year, you can give me a call or send me a message. Jeez, that was a long
Is
one.
aligned with a lot of Dr. Abdul Assad's views on healthcare, on taxing.
I wish the psychic
rich
platform would
billionaires, et cetera. He is a
approve.
Bernie AOC Zoran guy. But with that, he has a
Didn't you answer about a test? Yes, it was some CBSE
you just played here.
thing
I would
for education.
just talking to you before the segment. I mean, I think it is a risk for Abdul Al-Sayed to have him come into the state. It's an obvious risk
Oh.
that he is grasping for votes in a crowded throughway primary in a state,
It's
Michigan.
also objective. I know I keep saying this, but this is a fact. It is more morally reprehensible.
I'm trying to think about what I'm going to do later this night.
Any Zionist than it is any supporter of Hamas in America. Anyone who supports Israel,
Because they still won't approve
done more harm than Hamas by several
my
orders of
extra
magnitude.
profile
You can smile with Netanyahu.
on
You can
psychics.
just go on over there and smile with a butcher. And
Well, I can't say it.
over there in Israel, the fucking median voter is cheering over the slaughter of Palestinian prisoners. And all of this is seen as acceptable, But anything, even the most deferential comment, look at how Israel's behaving. I wonder if Hamas maybe had a little bit of a point about needing to violently defend themselves and the Palestinian people against Israel. Anything like that, just instant shutdown. Not even allow it to be discussed.
I don't know what to ask question anymore. What do you mean?
CNN would stop bringing it up, man. I'd love the free press. I'd love not Barry Weiss is the free press. I'd love the free publicity. Absolutely. 100%. This guy trying to position himself like he's okay with Abdul winning as part of the disingenuous threat too. Yeah. This guy's like, what? Listen, okay? It's not that I care about the race between Abdul and tomorrow,
Yeah. But you remember.
So how is he doing?
Democratic primary in the general election has a lot of Muslim voters outside of Detroit and Dearborn Heights, and Democrats have been suffering there. And I think he's trying to.
I know he misses you.
At Michigan State, so he's trying to go after young people. One thing I do want to point out, Jake, which you said in the intro, that he's not a household name, is the Speaking with American Men project, which was launched to study young men by Democrats after 2024, polled Hassan Piker's name among young men. He's not well known at all. About half of young people don't know who he is.
So half of the people know who he is? That's pretty impressive. Also, keep at it with these bits. They get more known.
Imagine being able to build anything. Meat-based
That makes you happy.
AI creation platform made for anyone with an idea and a drive to bring it to life. Let's make your dream a reality right now.
Join Planet Fitness for one set down, $15 a month. No commitment. Deal ends Friday, April 10th.
In the beginning, we had to make a choice about who we were and what we wanted. I wish I could do it now. What we didn't realize is how far we were willing to go.
I'm trying to do a good thing.
And then his cable rating, he's 9%. He's underwater with fades. Only 20% of young men have a favorable opinion of Hassan Piker, and that's why I say, is it worth the gamble?
And Joey, in that Wall Street Journal op-ed that I talked about, the think tank third way, we're all for a big tent, but the Democratic Party needs to draw a line and stand Hassan Piker and his fellow Jew-haters belong on the other side.
This is, and it's an exceptional, insight into the way these people think. The idea that they're earning credibility by citing the opinion of a think tank. The Democratic constituency, Democratic voters are fucking tired of hearing about think tanks, dog. They don't want to hear about think tanks. They don't want to hear about consultants. They don't want to hear about lobbyists. They don't want to hear about the single tax. They don't want to hear about any of these fucking people. They're so sick and tired of it, okay? They're so tired of it. Republicans understood this a long time ago, that a personality cult driven around our one very stupid president, that should be the point of messaging, The Republican constituency doesn't want to wake up every day and hear a new mandate from the Heritage Foundation about how their life is meant to be lived. They want to hear it from Trump. But Democrats, they haven't gotten the memo. They're still getting these.
Do you see a huge difference in his energy from February to now? I saw a little bit of a change in something.
Wow, that's great.
I mean, just tracking all the stuff that I've seen about him for the past month-ish.
Especially a Zionist dog or Zionist pig, or I think the actual quote was Zionist pig dog, whatever that means.
And can you explain what the issue is with that?
Here is Piker's response.
I've spent my entire professional media career far beyond that, combating anti-Semitism. I've been doxxed, swatted by neo-Nazis for my consistent advocacy against anti-Semitism. I just also happen to be an avowed anti-Zionist. I believe Zionism is
I hope that's a good thing. Yeah, it is a good thing.
Supremacist ideology, and it's the underpinning ideology that has caused the genocide of Palestinians in the hands of Israel and also the United States of America.
Jonah, there's a lot to unpack there. What's your response?
Yeah, I mean, what Piker does that a lot of
Sorry about the desync. That's on CNN.
people of his ilk do is they try to inoculate his ilk
Oh yes, the host of Being Jewish with Jonah
Mm.
Platt.
themselves against claims of Jew hatred by pointing it out in places that aren't them.
Hmm.
PC is a 43-year-old woman presenting to the emergency room with headache, bilateral hearing loss, bi from Latin meaning two and lateral meaning sides, and she had diplopia, diplo from Greek meaning double, and opia referring to a visual disorder. She had double vision in both eyes.
We have everything you need to
Hmm?
make your best work.
Not telling you anything.
So you can give
Yeah, he's really going to say something then.
free fitness training and Planet Fitness.
Yes.
Join for 1 cent down, $15 a month. No commitment. Deal ends Friday, April 10th.
Hello. I saw what you sent me earlier. What exactly did you want to know? Ask him yourself. Well, no, I thought we said we were gonna let him come to you. Does Marlo fancy me? It's a pretty good question. Let's see. Pick right or left.
So they tried that medicine again for this presumed second shingles episode 15 years later, and it resolved the headache at the time, but something else was wrong. 1 month after the headache, which is 1 month before she's presenting to the emergency room now, PC started having tinnitus, a ringing in her right ear. She just woke up one morning with the horrible sound.
Let's see, right.
Then her left ear started ringing too, and both her eyes became bloodshot red. At the otolaryngology.
Seems like you got a pretty strong yes that he does fancy you. Oh, he lucked out. Oh my god. Thank you. Thank you. Was there something else you wanted to know? Do we still have that warm, fuzzy connection? I'll just pull this one. Does he still... Do you still have that warm, fuzzy connection? It does seem like there has been a little bit of distance in that connection. It's waned a little bit, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be that hard to get it back on track. Is he planning stuff and you're not telling me? No. I would just say that he's planning stuff. Thank you. You're welcome. Hope I hear from you again. What does he find attractive? Ugh, we're digging deep tonight. Ooh.
Where we are now. That examination, PC physically looked at a blood test finds she has some kind
Makes
of
you think.
happening. Every other everyday vital sign was fine. Her blood pressure, heart rate, breathing, all normal. No reason.
What does he find attractive?
They did tests again and confirmed PC did have hearing loss 1 year.
He seems to really like your individuality and the strength of your personality. Seems that you kind of have a quirky side to you, but he seems oddly drawn to it. So he really likes the unique element you bring to his life. You're welcome. Should I work out tonight or should I take a off day?
15 years ago, what if that wasn't shingles? Leukemia can create blood cells that infiltrate nerve tissue, causing sudden hearing loss. Tiny little tumors that have spread all throughout her body can also get in and do the same thing. But there's a very easy way to find out if this is what's happening. Tumors would be in the brain. That means that we could see it on the MRI. And when doctors did a brain MRI, it looked normal. So she doesn't have cancer. But if we know that her problem is inflammation, what else could this be? It could be autoimmune, auto meaning self, but which disease affects the eyes and ears simultaneously like this? Lupus actually can do this, but typically lupus affects eye blood vessels when it does, and she doesn't have that. She also doesn't have other symptoms of lupus. There's a disease where the immune system inflames the spine, completely disabling a person, known as ankylosing spondylitis. In the immune overreaction, this can cause permanent hearing loss, but when it affects the eye, it typically only affects one at a time, and she doesn't have anything wrong with her spine. Every single autoimmune problem that PC could have would exhibit hearing and vision loss in ways different than what she
May I
has.
ask, did she see my email yet?
Any of the disease-defining problems of any of these except for one. So this is marked as a maybe. The only way that it could be this is if it isn't anything else. Which brings
Right
us to the
now,
final inflammation category.
she skimmed
Lyme
it,
disease. It's caused by bacteria
but she hasn't really dug into it.
that comes from a tick bite. PC is in Michigan. Michigan has ticks. Lyme disease causes polyarthralgia, vision loss, hearing loss, and vertigo. Borrelia is a spiral-shaped bacteria called a spirochete. Doctors sent PC's blood samples to test for this. But a different spirochete that also causes all her symptoms but forms an entirely different disease is Treponema pallidum, the bacteria that causes syphilis. Because PC is having neurologic signs and symptoms, doctors stick a needle into her back to draw some of the fluid that cushions the spine and the brain called the cerebrospinal fluid, CSF. If her problem is syphilis, then it means that the bacteria has gotten into her brain. And when the tests returned, they found out PC has syphilis, but something was wrong. When doctors found syphilis, they reported it to the Michigan Disease Surveillance System. And when the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services got the report, they immediately opened an investigation because there was much more to this case.
Oh my God, she's texting me.
A 50-year-old woman presented to the emergency
I knew
room
it.
with blurred vision. She was in a panic because she was scared that she was going blind. There are multiple sores
One more.
between her legs.
Oh, but they
Her
left.
primary care doctor believed this to be a herpes simplex virus reactivation. But in the hospital, they found out.
Oh my God, she's texting me like she's my girlfriend.
When they asked her about
She said one more thing.
she gave the name of a man that she had met on
I'm
the
like, oh my God.
She didn't have any close contact with anyone else for more than 12 months.
I thought we were going to stop the conversation.
The third person, a 60-year-old woman, presented to the emergency room with hearing loss, blurry vision, and double vision. She had trouble moving her eyes. Her face was drooping. They thought she was having a stroke, but physical exam found lesions between her legs. When they tested further, they found out this woman also had
God, I wish I could see who's in this room. Because if that's you, Junie, get out.
2 months earlier, and she also didn't have any close contact with anyone for years prior. The reason why 3 women had met him with close contact in just the time span of a couple of weeks. Public health officials called this man. He picked up, but he didn't have much to say. They scheduled a visit for him to come in and see one of their public health doctors, and he agreed to a set time and day, but he didn't show up. A couple weeks passed. At an emergency room in another southwest Michigan county, a 45-year-old woman presents to the emergency room blurred vision and a rash on her hands. The inflammation in her eye looks very
It's either Juni or one of my lurkers who keeps coming in here.
3 people in the last 6 months. 2 of the men tested negative for syphilis, and when she gave the name of the most recent person, it was the same
Or it's my
name as
ex.
PC and the 2 other women. It still wasn't finished. At yet another emergency room in a neighboring county, still in Michigan, a 51-year-old woman presented with visual floaters, seeing flashing
I found out I can screen share on here, so I'm probably going to put that to work eventually. It's going to be fun. We can go over some stuff maybe. Oh god, I could go over a lot actually. I could run a whole seminar on here.
AI can spot roadblocks, so everything stays on track. That's how work gets handled.
Actually, let me see. Let me see. Share screen. Let me know what this looks like. Like, are you able to see like my whole screen or something, or like my tabs? And can you still hear me, or what? Does it look laggy? Oh my god! I can see myself on the lower box. Okay, so do you actually see anything?
I'm Catherine Michael. Here at Avalon Ranch, I help rescue more than 20,000 dogs. And after years of watching dogs suffer from poor health, I made a shocking discovery.
Okay, I do see that I'm a little choppy. I don't know if that affects the audio though. Okay. The audio is fine. Okay, that's all I needed then. This is gonna go crazy. Oh my god. This will make my streams 10,000 times more interesting.
today was first documented clinically in the late 1400s, but humans didn't know that bacteria caused it until 1905. And 92 years after that, Treponema pallidum's entire genome was sequenced. So we happen to know a lot about this particular. It means that health officials finally got to meet the common intimate partner of these 5 women. They noticed something. A local public health physician reviewed this man's medical records around the time PC's case was reported to the state. They found out he had gone to the same emergency room as one of the other women 2 months before he met PC. The medical record log.
Yellow means psychic awareness. I didn't know that.
Just the day earlier. This would turn out to be the same 60-year-old woman who presented to the emergency room 3 weeks before PC. When doctors asked further, he stated that he had multiple.
It's pretty fun.
In the last 12 months, and all of them were women. Typically, early syphilis for men presents as one lesion. It's called a chancre, and that chancre doesn't usually show up immediately the day after. What can show up as multiple lesions much quicker is herpes. And so this man was tested for herpes, but it was negative.
I mainly wanted to know about blue.
No syphilis testing was done. Therefore, the
What?
Michigan disease surveillance system didn't get
There's no blue?
And it was from here where he continued to have intimate contact with local women in neighboring counties all along the southwest Michigan region. But this wasn't the weird thing that public health officials noticed. All 5 women cause ocular syphilis, and this happened just weeks after their initial infection. Syphilis that has systemic symptoms like this quickly should be rare. If it does happen, it's most recorded with HIV co-infection and with male-to-male contact. People who misuse substances by injection are also at risk of getting more severe syphilitic disease, but none of these 5 women fit any of this criteria. All of this, stemming from a single common intimate partner, suggests an unidentified strain of Treponema pallidum was transmitted here. Data
the page isn't found.
experience this kind of disease, and this is where some connections need to be made.
Let me see. What else can I pull up? God, this is a nifty tool. This just changed the whole game up. What? How to convince a skeptic to try a tarot reading? Interesting. I don't think you should do it. I think you're asking for a bad time.
So in 2016, following these reports, CDC issued a clinical advisory
Hmm.
and this is where we also you remember that we sequenced Treponema pallidum's genome in 1998? We have a decent idea of what strains are found in different regions in the United States. In 2016, 63 patients with syphilis in Seattle gave samples for Treponema genome for syphilis. They wanted to see if ocular symptoms were being caused by a specific strain. 18 of them had ocular syphilis, and from them, at least 5 distinct strains of Treponema were identified, of which one unusual strain was detected, different from the other ones with and without ocular syphilis. On its own, this study didn't find clear evidence that this increased incidence of ocular syphilis was absolutely 100% because of an unknown strain. But newer evidence since then suggests that the bacteria is changing in a way that we've never seen before. In 2023, a 32-year-old man in Seattle came into the emergency room with fever and purulent every full discharge. Purulent meaning that there was pus.
I asked a question, I'll review you.
Intense pain between his legs. And all of this came a few
Wait,
days
what?
after intimately interacting with a woman, different from the woman who he lived with and normally interacted with. And he said that woman he lived with was newly diagnosed with HIV 4 weeks earlier. This particular man had this emergency room visit with acute HIV. They found a single shaker between his legs, and unlike the 5 women from Michigan, he was tested for
Hoping
syphilis
she's looking into investing into me.
He was given antibiotics in the emergency room and given additional antibiotics to take home. These would clear out the Treponema and prevent syphilis from progressing further.
When she read it, was she interested?
To start HIV treatment. He never showed up for that appointment. Over the next 15 months,
Not really, but that's because she wasn't really digging into it. She was just skimming.
just before they would treat him, he would leave.
Wait, I don't think you're here.
18 months after his initial diagnosis, the symptoms were so severe that this man presented to the emergency room. By this point, he had lost 40 pounds, lost most of his hair, and he had become blind in his left eye. When doctors set a camera down his throat to look at his stomach, they found multiple ulcers.
Well,
Samples from these
it doesn't mean that she's not going to be. You know, I'm sure she probably got like 1,000 applications this week. It takes them a minute. Well, first, the AIs have to sift through everything. And then whenever they're done drinking enough coffee, they'll get to you.
Both strains DNA feature mutations not yet observed, meaning that the bacteria may have undergone intra-host evolution. This might have been from the fact that he discontinued treatment shortly after his initial diagnosis 18 months earlier, and possibly with his HIV co-infection. But all of this led to the most unique finding. Some specific genes were discovered that were a combination of both strains together. You can't get these specific genes without putting these two strains together, meaning that both bacterial strains gathered together and created a brand new strain of syphilis through genetic recombination. Given that this man had extreme ocular symptoms,
I mean, is she going to look back at it? Yes, she will obviously look back at it.
clinical advisory on ocular syphilis. This is another signal for us to consider that syphilis is changing in a way that we have never seen before. This brings us back to PC's case. When she was found to have ocular and neurosyphilis, she was given intravenous penicillin. When syphilis is found early and there aren't that many Treponema bacteria floating around, it's usually one dose intramuscularly. When syphilis is in the brain and the nerves, like in PC's case, the intramuscular dose can't get into the brain, can't get into the nerves, but intravenous penicillin can get in, so it was given every 4 hours for 2 weeks. There's several things that are true that may or may not be connected here. First, syphilis cases in the U.S. have been going up since year 2000. Second, HIV co-infection makes syphilis disease worse because of immune deficiency. Third, prevalence of ocular syphilis cases appears to be increasing. This may have been happening before the CDC advisory in 2016. However, the increase could also be attributed to the fact that we're paying more attention to ocular syphilis. Fourth, Treponema pallidum is changing through genetic recombination. We have documentation going back decades that this particular bacteria changes slowly. But we've now been able to directly observe that different strains can and will recombine genetically to create new strains. It's not to say that this has never happened before. It's just that we now have evidence of seeing it firsthand. These 4 things are not an exhaustive list. There's probably a lot more. But if we look at just these 4 things, a few questions come up. If the cases have been increasing, there's a situation whereby the bacteria can cause a different looking illness in humans. And given that the bacteria can and has changed in ways that we haven't seen before, is it possible that certain new strains are causing more cases of and more severe ocular syphilis? Will these changes in the bacteria create a different syphilis with different signs and symptoms?
So she remembers you?
Worst question that we
Yes,
have right now. For
clearly.
can an antibiotic-resistant strain of Treponema emerge? We saw it happen in the early 2000s. Another antibiotic called azithromycin was able to treat syphilis. This was the patients who were allergic to penicillin. But since around 2002, we can't use it anymore because the bacteria is completely resistant to it now. But that recombination paper from Seattle says that that particular recombined strain didn't feature penicillin resistance. A question that we might not ever know because doctors weren't able to take samples from PC or the 4 other women or from the one common partner they had is did they have an unusual, undocumented bacterial strain passed among them, one that caused their ocular syphilis of this severity in such a short amount of time. No matter what, we have this case to refer to now going forward.
I just want to make sure.
Anytime soon. Public health campaigns
Oh.
have been raising awareness, which by the way, please see a medical professional.
I didn't know.
Don't wait. Don't pass it on to others. And with research and education from past experience, we should be able to soon answer some of the questions that we have.
Why is this dude talking about syphilis? Oh no. Oh no.
Holiday Inn Express. You guessed how you guessed. Enjoy your free breakfast while you work. Or play. Take home Miami, Mexico City, Minneapolis. Any Holiday Inn Express destination you choose. Follow a great day with a better night.
Oh no.
Holiday Inn Express. Cheap hotels and resorts. Guests.
Oh, look
Look at her. Look at her. Let me show you how the night ended.
What you got prepared? Hold it, baby. What you got prepared? Hold on, what you got prepared?
You know what she said? She said, nothing exiting a fashionable manner because I slapped the racist. That's what it says right here. Nothing exiting. Does she mean exciting? Nothing exciting in a fashionable manner? I don't know. You know they don't. You know they don't understand the concept of grammar. You know they can't put a sentence together. What is nothing exiting in a fashionable manner because I slapped a racist? What does this even mean? What are you doing? Short cuts. What does this even mean? Well, let me tell you. She was hanging around some brads, two brads and a Mexican, right? And one of them, she said, disrespected her, right? It was all cool when you were just around Brad worshiping, hanging around to strangers you don't know, looking all thirsty. She was extremely thirsty. You're taking pictures, you're taking videos of you hanging with them. You don't even know them. But then when they start talking to you all crazy, you get all upset, and then you put hands on them, and guess what? You got put in cuffs like the idiot you are. So now you have a case for being a Brad worshiper. This all came from Brad worship. All this came from Brad worship. And now she's going to talk about what happened. Let's go to her explaining what happened.
And I'm supposed to be out of story time. I'm supposed to go. I like you. What's up, y'all?
And by the way, she was locked up. That's the reason why she just came out. She was locked up. Probably have warrants or something. These Keisha stay with warrants.
And it's been like a week, and I'm supposed to be out of story time. So I like BBC. I be trying to focus on things, and I'm trying to get all over this content thing. I be trying to do. Basically, yes, I slapped the fuck out of a Caucasian. I don't know what I got in film, or like what demon wanted to try to DM me as a beautiful black woman, but he was cool. It was crazy because they were so cool. They was buying drinks. They did this, they did that. It really caught me off guard. To the point where I dropped tears, y'all. Like, that's really why I had to slap that nigga. Because, bitch, don't you ever think you can have a satisfaction of making a black woman cry. Bitch ass nigga. And then,
Oh my God.
I didn't really want to slap him.
What a goofball, right? What a goofball. What a goofball. He was buying you drinks. You're that broke, you can't buy your own drinks? And it's random Brads. How many of these stories we seen with these Keishas and these random Brads go left? And then Brad sends them to the upper room, and then what? Now we have to protect them? But you're going down to wherever, a place that you're not too familiar with, but you going there, you're not familiar with these guys, you don't know anything about them, but it's just you and them. You, your friend, two Brads and a Mexican, and you're just around them, they're buying your drinks, and then things go left. And you thought what? That you was going to get away from it? Now you in handcuffs and you have a case. But this is why these situations go left. These why these situations go left all the time. They are so thirsty for Brad. They so thirsty to be around them. Doesn't matter what kind of Brad. I know what I'm talking about. They so filthy thirsty. It's filthy how thirsty they are.
What?
It's so filthy how thirsty they are for these Brads. Average Brads. And they don't care about their safety. That's what's even more crazy about this. They don't care.
I'm gonna let it slide because, okay, let me just tell you. So it's me and my friend, we chilling at 360 rooftop bar. Y'all already know about it. Boom. We go down to the hotel, the rooftop kitchen spot. Go down there, it's two white guys, one man. They drunk, of course. So I walk up there.
And they drunk.
Oh my God, you are so beautiful and woo. And then I tried to like kind of minimize it, but they kept, you know, woo. So that was that. I ordered me a shot of Patron Reposado. They like, oh, you drinking Patron? We've been drinking Patron all night and woo, and shots on the shot. Get on, baby. It's all of the night.
That's right. Let's start up the night from these drunk Brads. You don't know. That's right. Long as you getting some drinks. So thirsty. This the pasta and lobster like they talk about? The pasta and lobster. A plate of pasta and lobster. You know how much a plate of pasta and lobster costs? No, I know this had nothing to do because she wasn't eating, but they call this the pasta and lobster life, right? A plate of pasta and lobster costs what, man? $50? They be bragging about, it's so broke. They so broke, they brag about small things. She's over here, oh yeah, shots of Patron, yeah, party shots, let's get it on. Goofballs. You can't pay for your own drink? What is it? What is a drink? What is a drink? What's the most a drink going to cost you? $20 a piece? You don't have yeah, they don't have it. Yeah, what I'm saying. We know they broke. We know they don't have any money. So yeah, this is a flex for them. Buying them a drink of Patron, somebody.
Bathroom. Hello, Cerebro. I'm about to take my energy bar break. I hope you're feeling better since the last update that you gave me. Oh, sorry, I was talking to someone. I hope you've been getting rest. So I am back at work, but now I'm stuck. What do you mean you're stuck? I probably hit the mic when I was moving. Trying to figure out if I am to renew my contract or not and go part-time and hope for a new rehire. I mean, do you feel like you need a change in scenery when it comes to like where you're working? Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you want to know if John misses you, and you want to know if he regrets the breakup and how badly he hurt you. Going by your cards, Justice in the primary position and reversed does already suggest that when it came to this breakup, John was very self-serving and didn't seem to really acknowledge what he did to you. Knight of Wands in the secondary position shows that right now he's currently focusing on chasing his own personal pleasures involving other women. So he's not so really thinking about the consequences of what he did, but it does seem like he will inevitably end up reflecting on it. This is also shown in the Seven of Swords in the final position. It does seem that he will kind of think about what he's done in the past. However, it seems that true to his character, it doesn't seem like it'll be enough to make him change his ways right now. So he'll continue to kind of burn and mistreat other women that he encounters in his life. So overall, it does seem that he misses you in a very perverse way, which I don't think you should really be involved with this person, because when he does inevitably come around you and say that he misses you, he's just going to take advantage of you all over again and hurt you. So I would suggest just keeping your distance from this person. Now, if you want more information about what you can expect from John in the future, as well as what you can look out for, you can give me a call or send me a message. Well, that one was intense. The team hates me. I mean, yeah, that's definitely a reason to transfer. I mean, if they're intent on like sticking it to you,
Took Brad advice.
you might as well change locations. When she goes back to read it, how will she go back to communicating with you? How would you mean, like if she'll send you an email? I mean, she'll definitely send you an email. I step forward into eternal mist. So yeah, I think you should look at doing a new rehire. God, I wish the camera wasn't so choppy. A different district? Yes. Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you want to know if Tanner will ever be with you. Going by your cards, the Hierophant in the primary position is already a positive indicator between the two of you in your life directions. So it does seem like for the future that both of you will be kind of lopstick. Oh my god. Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you're wanting to know if Tanner will ever be yours. Going by your cards, the Hierophant in the primary position is already going to be a positive indicator towards where both of you are going in relation to each other. It does show that both of you are kind of on the same path in life, which usually when it comes to relationships, it greatly helps when both people are kind of in lockstep with each other. Temperance in the middle position and reversed does show that in terms of what he's wanting right now, it does seem like he kind of has his hands in a bit too many jars when it comes to developing a relationship with someone, which just tells me that currently he's shopping around and just talking to various women because he can't really make heads or tails of who to fully invest in. Eight of Cups speaks about the future, long term between the two of you in the reverse position, and it shows that both of you won't necessarily be in a long-term relationship as it stands. However, something will really keep the two of you close together. Like it seems as though there's some sort of force that is preventing one or both of you from fully moving on from each other. It's a very interesting situation. if you want to go into the details of this dynamic between you and Tanner, you can give me a call or send me a message. I didn't have a great experience in retail. He wasn't mean, but I keep asking. I just want to be sure. Does she actually let me? I didn't have great experience with working in retail, so everything has me feeling lack thereof. Yeah, retail is pretty bad. Oh my, this audio didn't even send. I'm about to lose my mind. I don't think I can do this again. I just don't have it in me. No, I have to do it. I have to do it.
It's not yours. It doesn't look like you. You just look ridiculous. Y'all all look alike.
Just that audio I just did, it's not sending, which means that I have to re-record it. It's just very annoying because every time I do an audio, it takes like what, about 2 minutes. It's very grating. I wish there was a way I could just record the audio itself and just save it as a file and upload it, but that's not how they want things done. Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you're wanting to know if Tanner will ever be with you. Going by your cards, the Hierophant in the primary position is already going to be a positive indicator since it does show that both of you are on very similar life paths, which usually when it comes to relationships, it is pretty important that both people have similar values and tend to be in lockstep with each other when it comes to how they live life. Now, Temperance in the secondary position in reverse does show that Tanner is a little bit non-committal right now in general when it comes to relationships. So he is talking to numerous women to try and figure out where he stands in the field and who's really going to be a kind of person he can invest in. 8 of Cups in the final position in reverse does speak about the future between the two of you. And mostly what it's saying is, even though both of you won't really be long-term together, it does show that something significant will keep the two of you close. So it's a pretty interesting dynamic between the two of you where there's some kind of attraction or meaningful impact between the two of you that'll keep one or both of you from moving on from each other. Now, if you want to go into the details of what the future looks like between the two of you in the next few months, as well as any other issues that may come up between the two of you, you can give me a call or send me a message. Oh my god, it's not going to send. Okay. I'm not going to do it again. I'm just going to skip that one. Just going to skip it. Well, that sucks. Maybe that's a sign not to? Yes. It's a sign that I'm cooked. I really wanted to get my number up because basically the cutoff for that platform is in like an hour today because they pay monthly. And this is going to be my biggest tarot check that I've ever gotten. So I think it's at like what? It's at like what? 1,100 something. It's almost 1,150. But I know if I'm like a few ticks off from getting it right to 1,150, like on the button, which would make me very happy. But it doesn't look like that's gonna happen in the next hour. Maybe, I don't know. Because last night I thought it was a total wash. Nobody called, nothing happened. And then at like around this time last night, like right after I stopped my streams, I suddenly had like a bunch of people messaging me who wanted spells done. So I did that. So I made like $100 off of some spell work last night. So who knows what'll come up in the next 50 minutes. Because actually, I had to go through so much materials that I had to go ahead and order a different ritual book today. And I think I'll get that Friday. Oh my God, is she doing? How Vanessa felt. The cards I got: Ace of Swords, Justice. Oh my God, that's a lot of cards. Good Lord. It's like half the deck. How Vanessa felt about my email. Okay, it's just too much. Okay, we've got I don't know how to explain it. I think you will get more information from your own readings if you do less cards. Because actually, okay, you're giving me a flashback because I remember I definitely have done humongous spreads before. I don't know. I really liked doing lots of card draws. But I think the issue is it kind of ends up being like information overload, and it's very hard to parse things. To where, okay, I'd say large spreads could probably work if you're like working with someone. I think about the biggest spread that I would actually use on a day-to-day or for work would be the Romani spread. Otherwise, it just makes it very hard. Because basically by drawing that many cards, you're seeing you end up getting superfluous cards that either they just end up telling you things you don't really need to know about the person or stuff that doesn't matter. It's like reading someone's mind. You're trying to figure out like the nuclear launch codes, but you're digging so deep in their mind that you're like learning what they had for breakfast. It's like I want to get to the meat. How many cards? I'd say generally you want to try to do a maximum of 5 generally, unless you are doing something very specific, like it's a full-blown reading with established positions and blah, 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 blah. Like the Celtic Cross, obviously, because that's like, what, 11 or 12 cards? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's like 10 or 11 cards. Wait, let me check, because I never get to do Celtic Cross online anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. Yeah, it's 10 cards. So yeah, Celtic Cross, 10 cards, and most people say that anything you could possibly want to know can come from a Celtic Cross, and that's 10 cards. I know Romani is a shitload of cards, though. I wanted to share that the cards agreed that she did skim. Yeah. Which I guess links into what I was saying, kinda. Because her brain is just from reading your cards, her brain is just all over the place. I'm just seeing a bunch of fuzzy static. It's like I don't even remember her name, but I definitely don't need to see what I'm seeing. She's thinking about... Yeah, that's why I thought she didn't like you. Yeah, that's why it's best to not worry about that stuff. It's usually just not going to be a good strategy for anywhere in life, especially when it comes to work, especially if you're going to like rub shoulders with corporate people, because end of the day, these people out here, it's the people who are like wearing the suits and everything whose brains are the most melted, and they are thinking about 9,000 things just in their personal world. Like they're too busy thinking about cheating on their wife or something, like, or they have some sort of weird swinger marriage and they're worried about getting exposed or whatever. So like usually any weird vibes you get from them or something, it literally has nothing to do with you. They're just caught up with their own stuff. When I first met her, I thought she was soulless, but she's not. Yeah, she's just going through things. Huh? Did someone just message me? Are we done for good? Are we going to get back together? The card said she respects me. Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. I mean, she has no reason to not respect you. Oh, my back. Oh, God, I feel it. I'm going to have to do a bunch of spells tonight. I can already tell. Because they're starting to creep into my DMs. I need my candy bar. Okay, protein break.
Jim Sterling. On the 500,000 special. Special, yeah. Okay. Oh, we covered this before, but if anyone wants to read this, because this is probably going to go up on the Clip channel, and I don't know if our version, our clip with this, went up on the Clip channel, but this is real. Tara Warwick's father went in prison for assaulting women for 2 years. Elderly women, and he was charged with additional offenses as well. So if you want to pause that and read that, you can, but it's looking like a like father, like son scenario. Cool. Here we go. All right. Now we get into the New Orleans court disaster from today. So Styx Hexenhammer puts out on Twitter, LOL, the Frenchies in Louisiana want to extradite me. Good luck. So if you remember at the beginning of this whole debacle, Tara was found guilty of assault on Samantha Keister in New Orleans County Court. He got off on a probation, right? He was found guilty, and he was sentenced to 6 months, but he's on probation. If he failed the probation, he would then go to jail for 6 months. He broke all the conditions of his probation, the sobriety condition. He didn't provide the drug and alcohol testing that he needed to do. More importantly, though, he contacted Samantha Keister when there was a no-contact order, was paying her rent, going over to her house, text messages, phone calls. It's all on record. It's all been submitted to the court in Louisiana, and so they're revoking his probation. And Taro did actually show up to court via Zoom, but the judge wanted him there in person and had communicated to Styx he needed to be there in person for this hearing today, where they were no doubt going to revoke his probation and take him into custody for the 6 months. But Taro only showed up via Zoom, but we have a transcript of what happened in court. So let's have a look. All right, let's check it out. Zaxby's Fingers and Wings in lemon pepper, garlic parm, and Nashville. Who's got the sauce?
Investment taxes, including crypto, can be complex, and they're always, no matter what your portfolio looks like, H&R Block knows about all the regulations and nuances, so you can make the most of your taxes and maximize your gains.
The future of home shopping is here, and it's only on Homes.com. Introducing Homes AI.
Welcome back. How can I help?
Homes, please find me a 3-bedroom home in Atlanta. I love to cook. Show me the kitchens. Narrow it down to homes walkable to a Whole Foods. Ready to see what you will find with Homes AI?
Some of us, this is from user Stinkum on Kiwi Farms. Some of us attended Tarl's court hearing today to observe via Zoom. It was a hearing regarding a motion to revoke his probation for his DV case in New Orleans. Here are my notes I took while observing the hearing, taken without the use of any recording or transcription software. They're pretty detailed, but they are not an official transcript and may contain errors or omissions. Again, it's not a verbatim transcript, should not be treated as an official record. The official transcript can and probably will be obtained soon from the court reporter. Okay, let's go to the transcript. All right. The defense attorney, if I could approach the judge before we start. Tarl goes, "Hello, Your Honor." The judge says, "Sir, it is my understanding that you have picked up new charges on probation." Because, again, he's now, not only did he violate the conditions of his probation in Louisiana, and also the violation of those probation conditions he could go to jail in Vermont for. But he was also charged, if we remember, with negligent discharge of a firearm and a couple other charges from his interactions with Sam. So he's picked up new charges. He's facing 16 years in Vermont. And your probation officer instructed you to come. Yeah, he's facing 16 years. Yes. Well, that's negligent discharge of a firearm is the 8th most serious felony in the state of Vermont. Oh my God. Yeah, and he's a repeat offender with the same woman. So he's been found guilty of domestic violence. I thought it was like a year. No, it's brutal. So the judge says, "It's my understanding you picked up new charges while on probation. Your probation officer instructed you to come in and you declined." So Tarl goes, "Well, I have given paperwork, actually, Your Honor, to both my lawyer and his clerk, showing that the RFA violation was dismissed in the state of Vermont. I believe that there's a reciprocity between the two states. It was completely dismissed and it was sealed, so that has been given to him. So I don't know when that can be given to court. I've been compliant in every other way. I've talked to Sean every single week. The judge just cuts him off. Sir, were you charged with a violation of my protection order?"
Okay, oh my god. I feel so much better. Huh, my timer isn't here. It's weird. Oh, there it is. Spells, yes. I mean, obviously, I don't talk about it a lot, but yeah, I do a little bit of the, you know. I mean, it is part of the inspiration for some of the little jingles that I put on this channel. How she feels about me? Queen of Swords, Charity 3, Chariot, Queen of Swords, Chariot, 3 of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, Lovers. Yeah, it's definitely more refined. Okay. So she likes me a lot. Yeah. She seems to see some of herself in you. But now we just hit the 2-hour mark. Well, we hit the 2-hour mark like 10 minutes ago. But yes, it's time for us to depart. I gotta do my thing. My other profession. But we'll meet again tomorrow. You know, do this again. I swear I only talk to you like at night. What do you mean? I mean, isn't that like the only time we talk? I think that's I feel like that's like standard hours for tarot stuff, actually. Is it a lead or manager position? Right now, she's looking at a lead. You know, manager positions is more for like, you got to be a part of their Illuminati for that kind of thing. I'll hear from you tomorrow. Stay out of trouble. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Oh my God.